Hi everyone, Stephanie with Mama Bear Inc. Welcome back to another Throwback Thursday. If this is your first time visiting my YouTube channel, thanks very much and I hope you will subscribe. Today we are going way back. We are going to be using the stamp set. It was a Christmas set at one point. I admit I have no idea when, I just know it was quite a ways back. We're going to be using the Christmas set Evergreen by Stampin' Up today. And we're going to specifically be using this tree shadow image on our card. And so you'll need the Evergreen stamp set to make this card, or good news, there's all sorts of stamp sets that are currently available that have images like this. Namely, there is a Wonderland stamp set in the brand new holiday catalog for this year, where you could get images fairly close to what we're going to be doing today. So if you don't have the Evergreen stamp set, do not despair. We can still make this card. Okay, the pieces that we're going to need today are a piece of early espresso cardstock. This is cut 11 by 4 1/4 and scored here in the center at 5 1/2. We're just going to fold this over and burnish down our fold with our bone folder, and voila, we have created a standard A2 top folding card. This fits into Stampin' Up's medium-sized envelopes just perfectly for mailing. And our layer today is going to be a piece of Whisper White that is cut with a 1/4 inch border. So that means it is cut 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So we're going to set our card base aside for just a moment. And while we are using an older stamp set, we're going to be using some newer things today as well. Namely, we'll be using the Christmas Greetings Thinlits dies. Now there's 3 dies that come in this set. There's Merry, Jolly, and Peace, which you'll see in just a couple of minutes because we're going to be using that on our project today. To start off on our base, we're going to be doing some inking. And we are going to be using 3 different colors of inks to create our night sky background. We're going to start off with Soft Sky, move to Marina Mist, and finish off with Native Navy. And of course, we're going to be using our handy dandy Stampin' sponges to make this happen. Now, the inking takes a little bit of time, so I am going to speed up the majority of this process. But we are going to start with our Soft Sky ink, and we're going to ink the entire front panel in Soft Sky. Now that we have our Soft Sky ink applied, we'll go ahead and put it away and bring in Marina Mist and our handy dandy Marina Mist Stampin' sponge. And what we're going to do with the Marina Mist, it is a bit darker color, is we're going to start at the top and then gradually fade into the Soft Sky underneath, because what we're trying to create is an ombre type look. So we'll get started with the Marina Mist. Okay, and once we have the Marina Mist to the depth that we would like, we'll go ahead and bring in our Native Navy to finish off our Soft Sky and our Native Navy sponge. Now, Native Navy is quite a bit darker ink, so with this one I do like to start off the paper just so that I don't get really defined edges of color. And we're just going to keep this one at the very top, and then I'm going to rub most of the ink off here on my scratch paper and just kind of work that edge down a bit, because again, it's a very dark ink color. So we want to work this one a bit more. But once you've got it the way that you like it, you then have created this really cool kind of ombre look, and it's created exactly the way that you want it to look. All right, so moving on, the next thing that we're going to do is stamp our trees. So I've got the tree shadow image set up here on an eye-sized block, which is probably a bit big, but it's just the one I pulled out. Now, I'm going to be using Early Espresso ink to stamp my trees. And Early Espresso, again, is an extremely dark ink. So before I stamp on my card front, I am going to stamp off once on my scratch paper, line up my tree in the center. I just like to start in the center. You don't necessarily have to. And there is 1 second generation, 1 third generation, and 1 fourth generation tree. So as you can see, Early Espresso is quite dark. it stamps out. Looks like we probably could have gone a 5th generation with this one, and just had a very light tree in the background. So we're going to, I cleaned my stamp because we stamped off the edge of the paper and we don't want to create any lines in our stamp. So I went ahead and cleaned that real quick with the Stampin' Scrub, because you know that takes no time at all. Ink it up. I'm going to stamp it off again, and I'm going to do kind of a taller tree here on the edge, 2nd generation stamp. All right, and look, there's that line I was talking about. So I'm just going to clean it off right quick again, and we'll ink up again. And this time, I'm going to stamp off twice and come over here with a taller 3rd generation stamp. Woohoo! Flipped her right over there. Okay, and there is our kind of nighttime forest look. And we just used one ink color and achieved all of these different gradient looks within our trees. So that is just a really cool way to use your stamps and your inks so that you get a whole lot more out of them. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and set this aside because we've got a lot of ink on here. And the next thing that we're going to do is take a little piece of Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper, and that is currently available, and our Peace Word Thinlet from the Christmas Greetings Thinlets die set, which is available currently in our holiday catalog. And we're just going to run this through our Big Shot machine to get it cut out and pop that out of there. I did it ahead of time just for the sake of time, because my videos tend to get really long because I want to show you absolutely everything. All right, and let's just carefully, now these are quite delicate die cuts, so you don't want to be jerking them around. So we're going to carefully pull this out of the die, and we just have this beautiful Dazzling Diamonds glitter paper piece. I love these dies. They're just so pretty. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring our card base back in, and we want to mount our piece kind of, well, let's see where I like it. I think I like it closer to the trees because the last little part of this card will need some room up here to add. So I am going to add this piece with the new fine tip glue pen. And I'll warn you about this though. It is a fine tip, yes, but if you are not careful, a lot of glue can come out of that fine tip in a big hurry. And so you just want to be cognizant of how hard you're squeezing and exactly how much is coming out. Because I did read somewhere, someone had said that this glue dries with a matte finish. That has not been my experience. I kind of took that to heart and wasn't real careful with it the first time that I used it. And it was very visible when I got glue elsewhere. There is a fly in here. It's driving me crazy. When I got glue elsewhere on my project. So just keep that in mind. This does not appear to dry matte. Okay, so let's kind of line this up so we can get our piece as straight as possible, and we'll just hold them down. And again, you don't want to move it a whole lot because again, my experience is this does not dry to a matte finish. So if you are worried about it holding, the easiest thing to do is just take one of your clear blocks, lay it over top there, and just kind of press it down. That will give you yeah, see, I got some glue on there. Not good. You don't want to get glue on your blocks. That's not fantastic. All right, I'll have to clean that really well later. So as you can see, there's some glue kind of squeezed out there. And I don't know, let me see if I can show you. It's fairly, yeah, see, you can see it right there. This does not dry with a matte finish. So just be careful in your placement and be careful how much glue you're actually using. All right, so next thing that we want to do is attach our inked and stamped panel to the front of our card. And we're just going to do that using a bit of snail around the edges. And I have watched videos of longtime Stampin' Up! Demonstrators who assure me that I don't need to use a whole lot of snail to hold minimal layers onto cards. I just need to burnish really well. And I'm sure that's probably true. I do not doubt you, ladies. I'm always overdoing it with adhesive. Doesn't matter if it's snail, fast fuse, glue, or dimensionals even. I'm always overdoing it with adhesive. Okay, so we have that placed on our card front. And our last little detail is going to be some dazzling details. And we are going to just be creating some snowflakes, just little snowflakes in a random pattern with dazzling details to give our cards some sparkle and make it look like winter and Christmas time. And I'm not putting a whole lot on here, and I'm not being hugely careful. And you can put as much or as little snowflakes, dazzling detail snowflakes as you would like on your card. It's just kind of a finishing touch. So I think that's going to do it for me. Now, the dazzling details does need to be given some time to dry. So don't pick it up and start messing with it right after you put the dazzling details on. Do give it some time to dry, and I think you'll really like the results. So that is our finished card for today. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out with me. I've enjoyed spending time with you, and I look forward to talking with you again soon. Take care.